Today, I'm taking America's most luxurious train for 2 days across the Rocky Mountains. I'm booked into first class, complete with private lounges, an outside viewing deck, 3-course dining, and even a self-playing piano. The best part is I've brought my dad along for the adventure on the brand new Rocky Mountaineer, USA. With that, let's pick up our journey on the ground in Denver at 8 AM. Welcome to the iconic Denver Union Station, though this is not where we'll catch our train today. Rather, we'll need to take a short walk over to a nearby hotel where our luggage is checked in and our tickets collected. We'll need to grab this motor coach over to the Rocky Mountaineer depot a few miles across town. In contrast to the overcast Denver backdrop, the sleek, pristine gold and blue carriages nod to the fact that this is no ordinary train.
Well, hello there and welcome back to the channel. You join me here in Denver where we're going to start our journey on the Rocky Mountaineer.
With that, let's hotfoot it on board. This is not a train I want to miss.
Well, look who I've run into.
Good morning.
This is my dad. Welcome to the channel. Really excited about this. Any idea what to expect?
Nothing at all.
Let's see what it's like.
Before setting off, there are a few housekeeping rules, such as a safety briefing to take care of. And with much fanfare from all those on board, we set off heading west, bound for the heart of the Rockies. So what does day one look like on the rails? After departing Denver, we'll continue climbing until we reach the Continental Divide, continuing ever higher in altitude, passing mountains and eventually canyons, until reaching our overnight stop of Glenwood Springs this evening. It's certainly a packed first day. There are 2 classes on board, Silverleaf and Silverleaf Plus. We're in the latter and the best class offered today. Rocky Mountaineer operate custom-built carriages, with each having capacity for 56 passengers in a 2-2 configuration. We're sitting towards the rear of the carriage, in comfy leather-adorned seating. The seats are well equipped with power outlets, seat back pockets for storage, and a retractable footrest. Pertinently, they feature tray tables, of which I'll retract now. Breakfast service is about to begin. Note that all food and unlimited drinks are included in your ticket, in which case, let's kick things off with a morning mimosa. Hey, it's never too early when you're on a luxury train. We're presented with breakfast menus offering a choice of 3 options. Do note dietary requirements are taken when booking, so further options are available if desired. We're all served initially a fruit scone, which is fresh, crumbly and delicious. This is provided with a much needed drip coffee. Sadly, no espresso based coffee is available. Sipping our coffee, we continue to ascend up ever higher into the Rockies. We pass the Big Ten curve, named as such because it's a long, slow curve at a radius of 10 degrees. Given the precarious nature of this diversion, hopper cars filled with coal and stones are welded to the siding tracks to block incoming mountain winds from threatening the stability of passing trains. Time for our main breakfast course. Dad opted for the wild mountain berry parfait, served with a fresh pastry, whereas I instead go for the golden sugar waffle, served with hickory smoked bacon, local berries and Vermont maple syrup. It's fabulous, and I'm glad Rocky Mountaineer are staying true to their Canadian heritage with proper maple syrup. With breakfast out of the way, we're presented with a map to track our journey at our seat. This, coupled with frequent information from our guide, allowed for quite the insightful journey as we climb through 33 tunnels over just 13 miles of track. It certainly is an engineering masterpiece. Of course, this morning we'll be saving the best tunnel until last, as we pass through a moment of tunnel respite. Introducing the famous 6-mile Moffat Tunnel. This will be the highest point of our journey at 9,200 feet, which is rather hilarious given we're in a tunnel. Crossing under the Continental Divide, the Moffat Tunnel sees up to 15 trains daily and has been operating since 1928. We exit the tunnel into the glorious midday sunshine of Winter Park, which is actually a popular ski resort. It's hard to recognise this from earlier in the year when I stopped here on the California Zephyr on a particularly snowy afternoon. It's time to explore more of our train. Just a car along, connected to our carriage, is one of the 2 lounge cars, which we have access to with our Silver Plus booking. with multiple comfy armchairs and sofas, but most importantly a fully stocked bar where you can order a selection of craft cocktails, soft and hot drinks. Naturally, I'll be indulging in a DC whilst Dad enjoys a local Colorado beer. It's rare I get to spend such quality time with my dad, but given the nature of this slow, relaxed trip through the Rockies, it really gives us a chance to connect and switch off, away from the distractions and busyness of day-to-day life. We're served some light snacks as we begin to pass by the Fraser River. Despite being a relatively slow train, the scenery is constantly changing. For an even better vantage point, let's go and experience my favourite part of the train, the observation deck. Located in between the lounge car and the passenger car, there's this small outside space, allowing you to get just that little bit closer to the elements. Believe it or not, it's time for yet more food, so let's head back to our seats and find out what's on this afternoon's menu. And just before this, and the exploration of the rest of the train, it's time for a quick word from today's video sponsor, Huel. If you've not heard of Huel, they make healthy alternatives to on-the-go food. Right now, I've just got back from the airport, and after such a busy morning, all I want to do is boot the Timbs off and relax. But will you rightly ask, what about food? This is where Huel comes in. Huel Hot and Savoury makes nutrition a whole lot easier for my busy schedule. Instead of eating fast, unhealthy food, I can conveniently make a perfectly balanced, plant-based meal packed with 27 vitamins and minerals in just minutes. Today, I'm enjoying my favourite mac and cheese. After just a few minutes, I'll have a high-protein meal which contains all the essential goodness to fuel my day. Not only does it taste fantastic, but it allows an easy way to maintain and keep track of my nutrition goals with such a busy lifestyle. So why not give Huel a try yourself? Just hit the link below in the description, and on your first order, receive free shipping, a Huel t-shirt and a guide to get you started. Back on the train, it's time to take a peek behind the scenes at where our lunch is going to be made. In each Silverleaf carriage, there's a kitchen at the very front. Given the obvious space constraints, it's not a full-service kitchen like you'll find on the dual-level Canadian Gold Leaf train. I'd say instead that the Silverleaf carriage is similar to the business or first-class preparation of an airline. Back at our seat, let's take a peek at the lunch menu. Not the most extensive, but certainly sounds tasty. Prior to our lunch, the drinks cart arrives at our seat, boasting a variety of wines paired to each selection and of course soft drinks. We'll start off with a light salad. Dad and I both agree it was a light but tasty appetizer, though could have done with some fresh bread on the side. As we wait for our main, yet again the landscape outside has transformed. You really will never get bored of this ever-changing backdrop. So our mains arrive. I've gone for the braised beef short rib with a New Mexico fire-roasted green chili demi-glaze. The beef was tender and melt in your mouth, though the bread roll, which I wish had been with our starter, was rather dry. We pass by a Union Pacific freight train, which is waiting for us in a siding. The reality is our private train is sharing the tracks with a variety of working trains, which can sometimes lead to delays. We're lucky today as everything seems to be working in our favour, and I can only assume as today is Sunday, it's quieter than usual. Now for my highlight, the dessert of chocolate torte, topped with a mixed berry coulis. You'll know by now I'm quite the chocoholic, and this certainly passed the Trek Trendy vibe check. The remainder of this afternoon's journey sees us travel through the glorious Glenwood Canyon, signifying the end of day one and our first stopping point of Glenwood Springs.
Right, we have arrived in Glenwood Springs. How was your day, Dad?
Pretty good.
Yeah, we've had a good one. We've got an overnight here, and then we're going to continue on our way to Utah. But what's really cool is they've actually given us our keys on the train to our hotel. There's no messing about at all. We're going to go straight up, and apparently our bags are going to be waiting for us in the room.
The hotel's just there.
Yeah, I know. It's a really, really long way. It's just literally there.
Our train will head over to a siding just out of town to be cleaned ahead of our busy day tomorrow, bound for Utah. After a quick freshen up at Hotel Denver, Dad and I grabbed dinner at this fabulous Mexican joint with some of the best tacos we've ever had. A great end to a great day.
The next day.
Well, good morning. It's an early one, that's for sure. Day 2 will see us cross the Colorado-Utah border, with stunning mountain views in the backdrop. Red sandstone landscapes and arches emerge as we approach our final destination of Moab. Our grand blue and golden train is waiting for us at the station, ready for a prompt 7 AM departure.
So it's bright and early here in Glenwood Springs, having had a pretty good night's sleep. Would you say? Have you slept right?
Very well, yeah. It's a bit early though.
It is a little bit early. We've gone and grabbed some coffees from the hotel, but apparently we've been assured that there's some coffees on the way, along with mimosas.
Let's take a quick look at that brekkie menu. It's certainly a hearty looking start to the day. We'll begin with a fabulous cinnamon roll made fresh here in Glenwood Springs. It's something RM try hard to do, supporting local businesses, and I've no doubt it was a good day at the local bakery when the contract was placed for several hundred weekly orders of their pastries. For our breakfast mains, Dad went for the Colorado frittata, whilst I opted for the all-American strata bake. It's utterly delicious, though I'm definitely not used to having quite so much for breakfast. Just as breakfast is cleared, we glide through our last station in Colorado, Grand Junction. This is another stop I'm quite familiar with, from taking the California Zephyr, though unfortunately we're only passing through today. Dad and I feel it's time to check out the second lounge car, located a couple of cars down train. It's an equally relaxed place to hang out, though it's got a party piece, in form of a self-playing piano. It even takes requests, which can be selected on the iPad on the wall adjacent. However, Dad managed to fool a couple of our fellow passengers with his faux skills on the ivories. In all our excitement, we've only just realised we've crossed the state line into Utah, and with it yet another drastic change in landscape. This also marks the perfect occasion to indulge in mid-morning drinks in the lounge car. As Dad and I relax and enjoy some of the outstanding scenery as we edge further into Utah, let's talk cost. Well, today is a press trip, as I was kindly invited by Rocky Mountaineer to experience their newest route, under of course my insistence that I remain fully transparent and honest about the actual experience, as usual. But in cold hard cash, Silverleaf Plus costs $3,952 for two, which includes all food, unlimited drinks, and your accommodation in Glenwood Springs. That's of course not cheap, but then again, you're on a private train with a curated experience, taking your time through one of the most scenic railways in the world. For me personally, I still preferred the Canadian Rocky Mountaineer from Banff to Vancouver, which is at a similar price point, and this is largely due to having elevated dining in a separate restaurant and a larger outside observation deck. You can check that video out after this one. You may also be wondering at this point, what about the restroom situation? Well, there are two at the end of each passenger car. They're clean, modern, and quite unlike any usual on-train lavatory. Just as you thought the food was over, there's one last snack to bring our journey to a close. We're served a Southwest chicken flautas tossed in Utah-made habanero sauce. It certainly hits the spot, though I'm honestly going to need to roll myself off this train. Talking of which, we finally glide into our private siding on the outskirts of Moab, the terminus of the Rocky Mountaineer westbound.
Well, it's with great pleasure I welcome you to Moab, Utah. We've arrived after our trek over from Colorado. What did you think of the experience, Dad?
Pretty good.
It was good, wasn't it? We had
Yeah.
a great bit of time to catch up, spend some quality time together. But now it is time for our journey to come to an end. Thank you so much for watching. Do let me know, as always, what you think down in the comments below. And I'll leave you with this incredible view out over the national parks of Utah.